Let's talk about something that obviously is very present right now in Quebec, and that's the whole question on immigrants. There's a new government that wanted to reduce the levels of the numbers of immigrants coming in. We know that there's a labor shortage in Quebec. You obviously know this as well. What's going on with that? What's your position, and how do you utilize this thing happening in your advantage?
Truth is, we're given the benefit of the doubt to the government at this point. There's so many things that haven't been shown yet, things that have been said in the campaign but have not materialized yet. If you want to talk about the 18,000 folders issue that we filed that we've seen recently, we decided not to jump on that file at this point because there's so many unknowns at this point. Obviously, we need more immigrants. We have to make sure that they're well integrated within our economy. So the new government wants to focus on the second part of it, of really making sure that they're well integrated, that they learn French, which is fine by me. It makes a whole lot of sense. Now, I understand on the social side of things, it's a big issue to just take 18,000 files and destroy them. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people can talk about it. I don't think it would be our role as the young chambers to really talk about social issue on that front. But on the economic side of things, we have a lot of questions because if we don't get these 18,000 people, where do we get the workers that are needed?
You have people that are raising these concerns that
yes.
We need working hands?
I have young entrepreneurs who are on that list.
Okay.
Too. So what do? Do they continue with their business in Quebec, or do they just pack up and leave, or what's the deal? So there's a lot of questions to be raised at that point. Obviously, uncertainty is always a big issue for
and it's mostly hitting the regions, right?
Yes.
But that's a whole other challenge in itself. Even if you bring the immigrant, how do you convince him that, or her, here, go to the regions, we need you there, rather than the big city that everybody dreams of coming to, right?
So by the time you get this podcast rolling, we might have our big study out publicly. So I don't want to talk too much about it, but we're looking on this particular file, and 84% of all immigrants choose to stay in the Montreal region. And if you add Quebec City, you're closer to 90% of all the immigrants in these two little regions. We have a program ourselves to bring young entrepreneurs from the diversity outside of these two centers. It takes time. You have to make sure that they feel at home over there. So slowly, whenever there's a community that is starting to grow somewhere, usually you'll see that more people from that community will join that region. It's a very, very slow process.
Yeah, because it's not only about your jobs, and it's not only about entrepreneurship and creating the opportunity. There's a lot of social factors as well.
Absolutely. So what do you do when you're done work? What does your wife do or your husband do when you're at work? Mm-hmm. So what about the kids? Will they feel at home? Will they feel love? Will they feel like they're integrated within the society where they live? These are all big questions, and we need to make sure that these people feel at home.
How do you do that?
That's a very good question. I think it's all about I don't know how to say that in English, but vraiment l'offre de service.
Yeah.
It's how do you accompany these people from A to Z? At this stage, I would say that in Quebec, we don't have a model where...
supply management.
Sort of, yeah. We don't have that accompaniment for these people starting from scratch. And hey, let's go to Drummondville. Let's go to a rural area. Let's see how you integrate and see what job is offered for you there. How can you live there?
I don't think they have that time to waste. Basically, they're coming here. They're thinking of their kids. They're okay. Let's get moving. I need a job. They need to get down to the nitty and gritty, you know?
Yes, and if it's a need collectively to make sure that we bring diversity outside of the big centers, we need to create one program, one single window for them to apply there, and that they get the experience and they can actually choose to go live somewhere else rather than just like, I just arrived here in Montreal, I need to find a job right away. I need to take care of my wife, my kids, so I'm going to stick with the two people I know in Montreal. That's where I'm going to stay for the rest of my life. So we need to make sure that from the moment they arrive, we tell them, okay, so these are job openings that you can apply to. We can help you get there. We can help you find a place to live. We can show you around, see if you like the area.
See, what I never understood, and this was at our level, right? I mean, I have so many colleagues that worked at the immigration department, and they put in place a brand new system in August or September that would track immigrants based on obviously their qualifications and match them with available opportunities. And I always felt that's how it was. And yet you bring in people from the Maghreb, like the North African region, who are engineers, doctors, and such. And obviously you bring them in because of the language factor. And we're not dumb. We understand what's going on here. And yet they come here and they have the highest unemployment rate in these communities. Like we're talking about over 20% here.
Moroccan women that are here in Montreal are usually more educated than most Quebecers in general. Sure. But their unemployment levels are way higher.
How does that happen? How do you bring people in that are super qualified with the idea that, look, we have the available jobs, we have the opportunities, come in, and they're just doing nothing? Well, I don't want to say they're not doing nothing. I mean, they're working. It's just that many of them aren't happy with what they're doing. And I've met a lot of them that are dissatisfied. And some of them, it's also a question of pride. They're like, listen, man, I spent my whole life becoming an engineer or a doctor. I don't have time to start over. I have a family. I came here for a better life. And they're just on unemployment, sitting there. And it's sad to see.
It is. And it's a waste. It's both for the individual, but collectively as well. I mean, the story that we've heard 1,000 times about a doctor driving a cab in Montreal.
Yeah.
This is a total waste for everyone. We need more doctors for sure. We could find better jobs for them. But
why do you think that's happening, though? I mean, this is obviously at a government level. I never understood this. And this was at our level. I mean, I spent 11 years in politics managing immigration files. I never understood why this was happening.
I think it's the paradigm in which we're working. We're sitting, and I say we're, but the government is sitting, looking at what are the needs of the government, and then to say, hey, we have needs in terms of people qualify for X, Y, and Z. And by the way, you fit into the program that we want to put you in there, rather than looking at it the other way around. So, hey, you just arrived here. So what's your experience? What would you like to do in the future? What kind of quality of life you're looking for? And how can we help you get there? We're always looking from the point of view of the government or ourselves, instead of looking at how can we make sure that this person feels at home and can really contribute to the economy. So we need to switch that around and really look at what these people need to succeed, rather than saying, okay, this is what we're offering. Come if you need something.